Hello and greetings, beautiful audience. It is us. Uh, I don't know, we don't have a name yet, but it is also Origin Stories. Um, our five-episode game about people in Curseborne becoming aware that they are accursed. Yeah, basically the origin story, as every good hero and villain and person between needs. So, we are here to give you some inspiration, some ideas how this might turn out, and I'm very, very, very excited to have my first um, player. I was so close to say victim, but my first player with me here tonight, and that's the wonderful, wonderful Zach. Hi, Zach.
Hola, ¿cómo está? Uh, I am Zachary Naldra. He, him. I am playing tonight Conrad Maliko. We're about to find he's about to find out that he's a curse. So he doesn't know his lineage and family yet. So you'll find that out with him.
This sounds like a delicious idea, and I'm very excited for his journey. Um, as you probably already got from the entire setup. This is a one-on-one session, as are all five parts of Origin Stories. And this is going to be, at least for us, very intense, and I'm very excited for it. But I I have a few things I can tell you before we're gonna dive into the world of Curseborne and into the city of Miston. Um, let's start with chemicals. Um, the Forged by the Machine God expansion for Exalted Third Edition over at Backakit, which has still 14 days to go, and sits at a very nice $118,000. It's not euros, it's actually dollars um, right now. So if you're into Exalted, it would be a good opportunity to get in this middle section of the campaign where there's a little bit more uh, quiet dealings going on there. That's the first thing I have on offer for you. The second one is over at Indie Press Revolution. Um, there are quite a few of the Chronicles of Darkness books and World of Darkness books for sale, like the M20 Technocracy Reloaded Deluxe version, which is now at a nice 50% off. And so are the Chronicles of Darkness Dark Era books. And I personally had a lot of fun reading Dark Eras too. And that's off by 75% right now. So you can head over to Indie Press Revolution to get these. Then, if you like what you've seen over there and you just need um, a GM screen or a storyteller screen, like the one for Changing the Lost Second Edition, those are on sale on studio2publishing.com, alongside a few other very nice things. Um, and then, last but not least, this week we saw the Trinity Continuum Starship Battles, seeing the world of the light as a tasty bit on Wednesday. I think they are released on Wednesday, right?
Yep.
Perfect. Well, and all of this is ignoring the Black Friday sales that are going on drive-through right now, and I'm pretty sure that you will find some more Onyx Path related products over there. that might pique your interest and are on a sale too. So yeah, head over there if you want to, or this is my personal pride. Just stay and listen. Um, but now think I've taken care of all the important parts, and we can come to our game. Um, I think already established the idea of the kind of story we are going to tell. And we all know this is Curseborne. And in Curseborne, everybody is cursed. You know, all the tiny, annoying, and bad things that happen to good people on an everyday basis. They are not just random events that happen by pure chance. They are happening for a reason, for an occult, magical, very cursed reason. And this could be already enough for us, but there are people who are even more cursed, who are hit by a damnation. And many, not all, but many of them didn't have a single word in this decision. They just became cursed. And there are many ways how this could happen. Tonight, we gonna encounter someone who is just built differently. And that is our good friend Conrad. And maybe we're gonna start with a little bit of an visual um, description of who we can picture here.
All right, so Conrad is uh, short, skinny, and likes to dress for the audience that he knows that is going to interact with. There is a jam band coming to town, which should be a boost to sales. He's wearing a bandana and a tie-dyed shirt because of that, to make sure that he fits in with the crowd. He's not going inside. He'll be doing all of his business uh, out in the parking lot.
Sounds great. This jam band, do you know the name?
Conrad does not know the name of this jam band. He's vaguely familiar with it. He couldn't pick them out of a lineup of uh, people who would go to the concert. Uh, there's he You could put them right in front of him and they could introduce themselves, and unless they said that they were the guitar player or the bassist, he wouldn't know they were in the band. He doesn't need to know who they are. He just needs to know the audience, and that he will have customers in the crowd.
Yeah. Well, at the end of day, it's about business, isn't it?
It is. He likes he does he feels that he provides a service that is not met due to societal laws. It has to be done underground. Someone has to do it. It might as well be him.
Yeah. And according to some customers, um, he has a very good product. You can really feel the love and dedication Conrad puts into the production process of this. And so there is actually a rather loyal crowd, customer base, and quite a few people who who know him. Um, you have a busy day ahead of you. Um, what do you think when you're gonna get up from bed and do your morning routines?
You know, he's got to be up early. Go and check on the plants. Make sure you know none of the grow lights went out. Make sure does readings of the soil to make sure everything is balanced right. Um, for especially for the young plantlings that are um, still growing and not yet ready to be harvested yet. The plants that are harvesting that he's harvesting from, those are fine. Those don't need it, but he's got a new kind of crop uh, that needs a little bit of extra TLC in the formative weeks.
Um, do you need to go there? Is this in the same house as you're living in? Is a more secluded
Um,
space? Is it hidden?
yeah, he does not you know um, he does not grow anything at his place of residence. He has an apartment. He doesn't grow anything in his place of residence because if they come to his place of residence, they'll find what he's growing. Uh, so those have to be in different locations. Uh, some, this one in particular that he's going to, is property that is rented by someone else who started off by owing a favor and kind of worked out a deal where they can get some product for free and by giving out this grow space.
Ooh. Does this person have a name?
Joshua
Joshua.
Joshua Hernandez. He is a owns a number of warehouses, um, and this particular grow space is a one that Conrad has converted to a part of a warehouse um, as a grow room. Gives its place for supply and storage and that sort of thing.
And in this early morning, you're um, coming to the warehouse, get out your special key to the special lock on the special door. It clicks and clacks a little bit as you unlock it, and then you enter this place. And I could see there is a special UV light on the ceiling. Um, there's a hydroponic system in place to regulate hydration for the plants, and the air. Um, it's not yet fully um, drenched with the aromas of the growing plants. They're still young, so they are not as powerful as they will be one day. But there's already like these first days in spring as you get an idea of emerging life. That's the smell that's in the air right now, whilst temperature and humidity are very carefully regulated. How does this place make you feel?
It's a place of calm for Conrad. It's he doesn't have to deal with people. He's not really sociable. He doesn't really get along too well, despite the fact that the income part of his job comes from sales. It's really, the product sells itself for the most part. Um, he, he no longer has to deal with most of the kind of recruitment of customers. So this is kind of his zen moment, his happy place. This is where he does not have to worry about anything outside of what gives him joy.
Mm. You know, the warehouse is larger than the space that you're taking up right now. If you if you're dreaming in this place for a moment, would you see yourself taking more of this house, making your plantation grow, or would you be in a different place, in an open area maybe? Would you have fields?
Uh, you know, he doesn't want. He has other business interests as a cover, as a way to make his income look legitimate. Um, that he hires other people to, you know, deal with the um, flowers and the other plants and trees that that nursery sells. He doesn't want this part to get too big that he has to hire someone else to help
Mm.
him with it. This is his, as long as he can, if he could, just deal with the plants, as long as he's, and have someone do every other part, he doesn't care about the expansion. He doesn't care about getting a bigger business. And, he doesn't want to have 18 row of warehouses or, you know, a 3 city blocks worth of greenhouses. He would like to have a greenhouse space to be able to grow, um, because of the effects of natural light versus artificial light. Um, but as far as he's looking, he would be looking to expand for quality of growth, not to expand for quantity purposes.
Great. Maybe maybe that's something Conrad can think of for the moment as he's doing this very careful job that he's doing there. And then time passes and your work here is done. There are quite a few things on, quite a few bullet points on your to-do list. Like there's shopping that needs to be done. There are several clients who want to meet you today. Um, there is the evening is not planned yet, but things might happen. One never knows. Yeah. So, what are you going to do first?
He's going to go and make some deliveries, and kind of run some errands and do things. And it happens that one of his deliveries is at a diner, for one of the cooks that works him back. So he's gonna stop and um, get a cheddar and broccoli omelet while he's there. But yeah, he's gonna hit that up. You know, do what shopping he can. He's going to try to maximize like efficiency. So he's got a shop over on the west side of town for, he's got to pick up some chemicals to mix in for the soil. He has a delivery and a meeting to make, so he's going to do those kind of all at the same time. But instead of going just ping ponging around the city.
So, um, the day is still okay at the diner. The deal is done pretty smoothly. It's all right. The omelette is still warm, and the hot beverage not too bad. And yeah, as you and one thing, it's not too crowded actually. There are just a few people there catching a quick coffee or very fast breakfast and then are on the go. And then you leave through the front door, and the first thing that happens, there's something sticky on the ground. And you just step into it. Just like led directly there. You're not sure. Is it some sort of soft drink? Is it something else you don't want to know? It's just, are you chill about these things?
You know, stepping in spilt soda is, if that's the worst thing that happens to him today, it's going to be a great day. Um, oh no, like it's not acid. It's not like he has to go out and buy a new pair of shoes. He just has to wipe them off a little bit.
Wonderful. Okay. Luckily, the shop you want to go to isn't too far away. You are smart in planning your tours. And you open, no, it's an automatic door. It opens, it gives a sharp bell sound, and you enter the store. And somehow, maybe some of the lights are off. It's a little bit dimmer right now. It's just an uneasy light situation. And to get to the things you want to get, you have to get all the way through the shop to the back of it. And it's just like after you entered, a bus stopped in front of the door and all passengers are just walking into this shop. It's sometimes like this that it just a crowd of people appears basically out of nowhere and they all decide they need to go for shopping at the same time as you do. You can hear the chatter behind you, you can hear them spreading through the shop, and as you're having your shelf in mind that you need to go to, the place starts to feel crowded. The shelves to your left and to your right, they feel narrower than they usually do. Um, then, just as you come to a crossing out of nowhere, like three people appear in front of you and are blocking your way.
We're talking. They just walk in. They just happen to like walk, and they just stop walking right where they were, right in my way.
Yes.
Uh, he will walk up, and then what he's going to be purchasing is going to need a cart. It's not that he's not strong enough to get it. It's just bulky and kind of hard to wheel around. So he's going to stop abruptly um, just before running into them. Maybe we're talking the cart is inches away from hitting the person stopped closest to him. and he's just going to look at them for a moment.
And they just continue to talk with each other. They ignore you. At the same time, a father and a small child are entering the alley behind you.
Excuse me.
Uh, Excuse you, yes. The person seems very surprised that you're there out of nowhere.
Do you mind having this chat that you're having in a place that you're not blocking the entire aisle?
Uh, yes, 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 I mind very much. We haven't met in a long time and we're just catching up. I think even you might understand something like this.
I understand common decency to not block people's way and let people get past.
You already see yourself getting into an argument, and then her conversation, a partner, a man maybe in the middle of his 40s, um, with moss green eyes, looks at you and then gently pulls her out of the way without breaking his gaze at you.
Thank you. And will continue to go on his way.
You walk the entire aisle down to the shelf, and you have this feeling at the back of your neck that somebody is staring at you.
Just going to start putting some other items in the cart. Um, Not anything that you would particularly not need, but items that would um, make, if anyone was suspicious about what he was purchasing, this is going to make that look less unusual to be buying just this one particular type of chemical.
Um, have you ever realized that there was this one security cam hanging right over there at the edge of the store, having a pretty good view on the shelf you're frequenting?
You know, security cameras are one thing. Security cameras catch everything that's going on. He's worked, in retail jobs before, and in one fashion or another, he has security cameras at the nursery that he runs. He has security cameras at the grow houses that he has. He knows people only watch those if there's a reason to watch them. He knows
Good.
that people don't keep those records. Nobody's spending that money to have that data. They have most small businesses like this. They will have one computer, and those files will get deleted and written over in less than a week unless there's a reason for someone to look at them. So he's not too concerned about the camera. It's They're everywhere in the society that he's in. Um, he's done a good job of not making notice of himself to that people would want to look for him on a camera.
Good.
He's made these other. If someone is actively watching him, That's why he's making these act. He senses someone actively watching him. He is assuming it is law enforcement because of the nature of his business. So he is doing what he can to throw off any law enforcement that might be potential law enforcement that might be watching.
Good thinking. And you finally have um, everything you need in your cart. You heard the father and his daughter having an argument over the kind of cookies they wanted to buy, but that chimed down again. And so you walk your way back to the front of the store. Um, you realize it's much quieter. Actually, you can't hear anybody talking. You can hear the squeaking of the wheels of the shopping carts. You can hear the rustling of the um, paper containers and all the plastic bags of the different items in the store that are being put into bags and baskets and shopping carts. You can hear the beep of the um, register, but you don't hear any voices. You come across, or you enter another crossing between two aisles, and there again is the small group of people who were standing in your way earlier. And now they're not chatting anymore. They're just watching you, including the man with the moss green eyes.
As he walks by, he's just going to kind of stare at each of them to kind of try to get a sense of what he can feel on them. Would a would say empathy and cunning roll be appropriate to get a sort of vibe check on these people?
Yeah, I think so.
That is three successes.
Wonderful. Um, they, especially the woman who talked to you, she's looking at you with a thinly veiled disgust. The man with the moss green eyes, he looks at you as sometimes people do from across rooms from the other side of the park. Um, when you're selling at a game, just a few rows on left or right of you, watching you completely distracted from everything that's going on, just focusing on you. And they're they're looking with at you unblinkingly. They they focus on you intensely as if there was something to see, if there was something that they should be aware of.
he understands that he's not the most people person in the world, um, and that he doesn't enjoy it. It doesn't um, like when in being in these situations, um, but he understands they happen from time to time. He's gonna just keep, make a note of these people in the event that maybe they try to do something, but otherwise will not engage and just kind of continue on.
Just in time, you can steer the shopping cart away from the shelf you were directing it at because maybe you got a little bit distracted by getting a read on these people, but just just in time you manage to avoid collateral damage with the canned beans over there. So there's almost a free passage towards the register. Um, you come through the area with a little bit of fresh produce, and so there are no high shelves anymore, and you can see the other people in the shop. And they, as you enter the space, they turn around to look at you without saying a word.
He's gonna keep an eye on everybody, to kind of make sure he knows where people are at. Um, he's kind of on edge right now. Um, it's a little. He gets that the staring thing, but this is a little bit kind of over the top for what he's used to. So he's gonna go in. His mind's gonna start kicking in flight or fight mode, and just kind of sizing up everyone and who he thinks that, you know, if he had to, he could deal with it, and who he'd have to run away from.
You think you could outrun most of them. There's this one lady. She looks like she's lifting. Um, she might be a problem. But right now, there's the register. And the cashier is looking at you, just like everybody else does. But he has no other customer to take care of.
And he's not bringing up my order, or is he just?
If you're close enough, he will start doing that.
Yeah. I mean, I'll continue to go right up to the cashier and start emptying out the cart onto the conveyor belt for him to ring everything up.
He starts scanning the articles and putting together your bill basically, and somehow he gets slower and slower and slower, and it feels like the beeps of the register are becoming more drawn out every single time.
Is
How
it
do you?
just him? Does he seem to have a medical condition of some sort that um, he's undergoing?
No, you know him. He's one of the regulars here. You've been here oftentimes. It's just odd today.
And the rest of the shoppers within the site, are they also slowing down, or is it just him?
Um, you see somebody putting the same orange tries into their shopping cart.
He's going to sniff his clothes. Was he too close to anybody who was partaking in his product that he may have gotten a whiff? And he's starting to think back to what he experiences when he smokes or has some special brownies.
You take a whiff, and it doesn't smell of that. But there's another distinct smell. One of intense wild thyme
Is
and
there
gooseberries. Sorry.
a noticeable source?
It's your clothing.
There wasn't anywhere that was. It wouldn't make. Doesn't make any sense. Sniffs it again. I someone put something in my coffee.
It tasted a little bitter, didn't it?
He doesn't remember, but now that you say that, he's starting to make that it didn't notice it at the time, and now it's a question of is he remembering that, or is he convincing himself that something was off in the coffee that so that he can have an explanation of what's going on?
You know, as soon as you ask this question, everything is on the table. There is another exhaustingly long beep from the register, and then it is interrupted by the ringtone of your phone.
He's gonna look down. Who's calling to see who's calling before answering?
Um, it's a friend of yours. It's a friend of yours who helps you with business connections.
He's gonna pick the phone up. Tiffany, how you doing today?
And as soon as you answer the phone, everything jumps back to normal. The people are going back to shopping. They are talking again. The register just brings, gives you your final numbers. The cashier says, "Well, this is 59.99, and cash or card."
Cash.
Wonderful, and he takes your money, and you have Tiffany on the line.
Yeah,
Hi,
I'm just
hmm?
doing some shopping. What's going on?
Hi, Conrad. I just are you are somewhere, right? Can you get somewhere where less people?
Yeah, I'm leaving the store right now. Heads outside, pushes the
Yeah,
carriage towards his car, starts loading it up.
sounds much better, thank you. Um, I was just calling because one of my contacts told me that apparently the Knicks are on the move again, and uh, they have been seen uh, roughly in your area last night. So you might encounter some um, and now I'm missing the word. Some competition.
I'm assuming that the Knicks are a rival gang. Is that correct, Storyguide?
Yes,
All right.
that's correct.
I mean, you know, it's a free country. People can go and do where they please. There's no, sure, there won't be any, you know, hostilities or anything. So it'll be fine. But, thanks for the heads up.
Did, yeah, no problem. I just heard last week apparently they beat up some guy on the upper side, so I really like you. I
Yeah.
don't want that anything happens to you. It just
First of all, that guy was Trey. He is an asshole. He is, he is rude beyond belief. And quite frankly, the fact that it took this long for him to get beat up is surprising.
okay, good. Good. I'm sure you have to do important stuff, so I'm not gonna
Yeah, I
stop
mean,
you from that.
I'm just out running errands. I got to swing by the nursery, check in on things, see how things are going. But yeah,
Oh, wait a second. I actually did you know that there is? Oh, wait, no, you probably didn't because I didn't tell you. Um, at the university tonight, there is a happening, a party, and I know some people who want somebody around to get the mood running going.
yeah, yeah. Um, there's that concert tonight, so I'll probably, I'll see what I can do if yeah. Thanks for the heads up.
You're welcome. Um, y- you're gonna go to the concert or to the university thing because otherwise I would give somebody else,
What time's the
I think
university thing start?
it's a pretty late thing, I think.
Yeah, so I think so. I mean, I'll be at the concert with the people selling the bootleg shirts before people get inside. So probably be leave there early enough to still hit the university thing. So
Perfect. Okay, it's in the botanical garden. Um, there, there's a.
oh I know the place
Oh,
quite
okay,
well.
perfect, wonderful. Okay, great talking to you. Have a wonderful day.
All right,
Bye.
uh, all right. So the thing at the botanical garden is usually something that he would have knowledge of. Um, he through the business, the legitimate cover business. He donates to the botanical garden at the university as a donor. So he's gonna, when he goes to the office, check and see if he can get any more information. Surely the university puts out mailers, especially to donors, if there's planned events at the botanical garden at least.
Yeah, it's strange they didn't tell you about it. Maybe you just missed the mail. Is there something that happens to you?
No, he's really usually pretty focused with, especially with everything that would go to the nursery, because he's got to make sure that is running more above board than anything else in his life, because that's the cover for what the weed money goes to, where the weed
Mm.
money comes from.
Okay. Okay. Well, what's your next step?
You know, as check in with the nursery, see how everything's are going. You know, generally mundane, boring. Um, he's hired people to run the nursery as managers, so he doesn't have to be anything more than an owner. Comes in, just looks over the books and make sure there's nothing that he has no fires to put out, and he's going to go out and make some more deliveries.
You have to take care of one thing. Apparently, two of your workers are sick today. How do you handle this?
Um, well, it depends. What do they do? What are they? Salespeople? Are they people taking care of the plants? Or is it
One of them is basically a gardener, and the other one is a salesperson.
okay? Um, part of what he does, generally hires enough people so that no one really has to work too hard at the job. Um, so if one gardener is out, it's not the end of the world because there's three other gardeners to do the job of two gardeners. So it's a minor inconvenience. Make sure that salespeople are there to keep the registers open and to make sure there's no line for any customers. Uh, this time of year, it's not a hopping place to be. Um, the people aren't out and doing the Christmas shopping just quite yet for decorations, even though decorations have been up for the past 3 months. The rush isn't there yet, so should be okay. Um, he will help out for about an hour or so with gardening because he likes that side of thing. He actively enjoys it, and it's good to have the people see him working, um, and kind of building camaraderie with the people who keep his business alive.
So, do you think you're now back in the Zen zone, relaxed, calm?
He's certainly much calmer than he was when he was shopping. Um,
Mm.
there's still people around, um, so they're a little bit annoying just by virtue of there being people around. Um, but he's able to kind of do his own thing, and it's not like he has to. He's not training a new hire, so
That's good. Um, you're getting several pings on your phone, um, quite a few from customers. Um, one of them is asking if you're still gonna make it to the meeting.
some things came up that had to be dealt with. But yes, I should still be at the meeting.
Great. Okay. We are waiting. Um, is it an outdoor or an indoor meeting?
Um, he likes to have outdoor meetings whenever possible, just because it's nature. Um, the virtue of his business means that he doesn't do boardrooms a lot. He doesn't. He's never learned that corporate etiquette um, that so many in corporate America make their entire personalities. So his meetings are often going to be, you know, at a park or at the very least at a cafe with outdoor seating. Even though it's that time of the year where it's just to the point where it's really too cold to be reasonable to sit outside. Um,
Mm,
but a lot of people will still do it because they think the cold and discomfort is worth the view. Their coffee gets too cold way too quickly during those while sitting outside.
yeah. That's the reason why, as you arrive, they are on their second
Yeah.
coffee. It's one of your regulars, and apparently he has a friend of his with him. You never seen this person before. Um, your regular wearing black jeans, boots, um, jacket with patches on, blue dyed hair. And the person they're hanging out with is a rather um, like athletic but slim looking person, um, wearing a hoodie that it borders on being criminally uh, comfy and wearing a pair of very nice shoes. Um, he appears to have a shorter nose, a little bit, and eyes that seem to be tracking everything.
So when you say nice shoes, are we talking like um, this person has a hard to find pair of Jordans, or are we talking like business leather? Um,
They're more on the leather side. Um, but looking at them, they might be the pair of shoes that are actually made for comfort while it's looking good. You could probably walk 2 days in a row in them and still feel fresh.
so they might go with the hoodie vibe, or they might be completely off base. One or the other. All right. So he's gonna walk up and he's not gonna shake anybody's hand because I know something came up in the nursery and he's gonna show off how dirty his hands are from working in the garden. Um, got here as soon as I could. I had to deal with it. Um,
Good. Just, I was kind of worried you wouldn't make it. Oh, it's, I was wondering at what, you know, kind of know each other for quite a while right now, already, and you seem to be a lot around outside. This the longest I've been outside for days. How do you do this?
how do I work outside? I guess I adapted to it. I'm moving all the time. I'm not sitting down in a chair. So keep moving kind of keeps the body going, keeps helps keeps them warm. So that might be one thing. Um,
Yeah. Um, Still after a year, he's awkward around your trade.
So who's your friend here?
Oh, that's Rod. Rod is okay. Pretty chill guy. Rod smiles at you.
So Rod, what do you do?
Um, this and that. Things I like. And I heard you have something I might like very much.
Oh, what do you like?
Uh, Many things, especially experiences. Sometimes letting loose. Usually I like tea that's a little bit more flavorful than this one.
Okay. Yeah. Well, what kind of tea are you looking for? A calm tea? Are you looking for a tea to get you going? Tea to help you be creative? I know a whole lot about tea.
I like creative tea very much.
All right. He's gonna just put out a notepad, you know, with a pen on it and slide across the table. So put in your order, and we'll see about getting that filled for you.
His handwriting is, at first, one would say maybe delicate, but then it's getting into playful. Um, he seems to enjoy this a little bit, and then shifts the notepad around with a twist of his fingers, um, gently shoves it back to you, and smiles.
Yeah.
And I think I would like you to roll. I'm not sure if we do this in Curseborne, but do we roll two attributes like resolve and composure together?
Well, there's none of the writers or devs in the chat to tell us we can't. So sure.
You're right. They can't stop us. Let's do this.
All right. That is two successes.
There is a certain warmth in a smile, a twinkle in his eyes, something that invites you, that might inspire you to cheer for him, to join him, to just be bedazzled by his sheer nature. You also have the feeling that something is pulling your strings.
Well then. I'll be back in just a few minutes with your order.
Perfect. I'm excited.
All right. So he's gonna get up and head out over. Um, Purposely parked in a spot that is out of view, so that anybody watching him would have to get up and follow. Um, and he's going to go to a spot where he can sit and watch and wait to see if he is being followed. before actually going to the car to pick up the uh, this their new friend's order.
You are very careful, and so you see them. Team of two. Um, you you know them. Um, Walking down the street, and you're wearing colorful clothes today. It's not unlikely they have seen you. Narcs. Um, you know, the tall of one of the two ladies. Um, you had one or two run-ins with her already, and every time you got away, just barely. And she doesn't seem to be in the mood to be friendly today.
All right. So he's as he's walking, he is going to go past where his car is and kind of keeping an eye and watching them to see if they're still kind of following. Once
Hmm.
if they are, he's going to go stop, like he's tying his shoe, um, and take long enough that they would have to, if they are trailing, have to have gotten in front of him. Because otherwise, they would just be stopped, standing in the middle of the street, looking at him, being a clear giveaway of what they're doing.
You you see them stop. Um, you see the larger one being making a a thing with the face, showing that she is restless.
All right, gonna head towards the subway station.
You walk down the stairs to the subway station. Um, it might be good for you that it's actually filled with people. There are many people waiting for the subway to arrive. You can see that on the electrical sign there is a notice that the train is delayed because of some um, problem with the electricity. There are many people waiting, staring at phones, one or two actually at watches, waiting. A few of them are on a call, filling the time they would need to be some already using the time that they're losing by waiting for the train. And you can see the um, two officers coming down the stairs. They're not wearing uniforms. They very rarely do.
Yep. So he's gonna take out his phone and just send a text to the business, uh, the people that they were just meeting with, with
Mhm.
just the words "whoop whoop," which is um, anybody who has done business with him enough is going to know that is the code for that there's police um, watching him, so that you know his customer doesn't think that he left and just didn't come back. Um, so some subway stations are kind of like just all business. There's the subway. There's maybe a bathroom if you're lucky, and that's it. Others have like little shops and kiosks and newsstands and that kind of thing. Does this one is this one the former or the latter?
I think the latter is more interesting.
All right. So he is going to make sure that the crowd is still between him and the officers as he makes his way over, and uh, as stealthily as someone could purchase an an obnoxious hat and not obnoxious like big goofy looking,
Yeah.
but like it's if you're in New York City, it's the big obvious "I love New York" tourist hat type of situation. Um, if you're in Austin, it says the "Keep Austin Weird" on it. Things like that. So he's gonna buy one of those hats and a jacket or some sort to kind of cover himself up a bit, and a pair of sunglasses. Um, Once he does this, he is going to um, essentially dip out of sight, um, turn into turn into the hallway, the bathroom, throw those on out when he's out of sight, and then come out and try to sneak past the officers.
Perfect. Let's do this with a larceny, and I think you're pretty smart about this. So it's probably cunning.
Two successes.
Two successes. Wonderful. Okay. Um, Wonderful. You change and you become more or less a different person. You re-enter the subway station. Um, the train arrived. The doors are opening right now, and there's a flood of people streaming through the open doors into the station onto the platform.
He is going to mix himself in with those people who are on the platform and exiting the station.
Perfect. As you do this, you realize the people are getting very close to you. There's a little bit of shoving, there's a little bit of tugging, there's people all around you. It's like diving in a river. The stream will take you, but you can also feel its force. The river takes you away from the officers. It also sweeps you up towards the stairs, but it's also pulling and tugging and shoving at you. And you look at these people. It's it's a collage of different faces, different eyes, different hair, hands, so many hands everywhere are hands and feet. You can hear them and you can taste the this very special taste. The air takes up as a subway slows down using the brakes, and there's something burning because the brakes have been pulled too hastily. And there's a very distinct, unpleasant taste on your tongue. And you you smell the smell of the people around you. You feel the push and shove of their bodies against yours. You lose sight of the stairs.
He's just gonna, he realizes Conrad has to get out of the subway. The longer, if he stays in, the more likely the officers will stumble upon him. Um, so he knows the direction of the stairs. He's going to kind of make his way to the stairs, kind of moving towards the outside of the group, towards the edge of the wall, so that he can um, have a point of reference to where he's going. So, you know, how generally when a crowd is moving in a direction, the people kind of the inside or go to the outside of the group, closest to the wall, are going to be the slower moving people. He's going to try to get his way over to that, and instead of being in the throngs of the uh, salmon trying to swim upstream.
That's smart. I need you to roll survival and cunning, but please apply a curse die.
One success.
One success. And it's not on the curse
It is
die.
not the curse die.
Okay. Somehow, somehow you manage to be there a little bit faster. Like, there was a shortcut between the people. It doesn't necessarily make sense, but it worked. You left the narcs behind you. You are next to the wall, and you ease the pressure of the crowd on you. It's safe to swim out.
In the clear, he is. Once he gets outside and out of the subway and kind of starts making way to the car again, he's going to be on the lookout because just because there was those two narcs doesn't mean that there weren't others or that they didn't just report him in and have someone keep an eye on the car. Uh, so he's gonna, as he approaches the car, he's gonna look around and see if there's, again, if there's anybody particularly paying attention to him.
No. They're just like these 60, 70 people who are looking for 1 second, just all like alike. They basically the same person, just copied 70 times. But that's nonsense. That's nothing that happens. So soon you can see all different people in
Yeah.
skater stuff and hipsters and in business clothing, and it's all normal again.
Eh, oh yeah, he'll go and get the package and complete the delivery.
Well, a little bit more excitement than expected. I'm glad you returned.
Yeah, things happen in this line of work that you have to be, aware of. Um, but yeah, I do have a. I would have loved to stay and chat. However, the detour I had to take has eaten up much of the time that I would have been able to share with you.
If if I like the tea, I hope to see you again.
I have no doubts that you'll like the tea.
Well, cocks the head a little bit, blinks, smiles. It was a pleasure.
You as well. And I'll just
Um,
kind of awkwardly get up and leave the conversation on that pseudo appropriate statement.
well, Rod doesn't seem to take offense to anything. Just really looking forward to this tea and being amused about how uncomfortable this made his friend, your regular, who basically sunk into the jacket and are trying to hide from everything. Okay.
Yeah, that was weird. Oh well, Connor doesn't have time to really concern himself with the client's behavior at this time. People are going to start showing up for the concert soon.
You should get prepped. How are you prepping?
So he is going to go and um, make some special pickups for the concert. Um, he's going to be carrying a little bit more, not a little bit, significant amount more than what he would normally carry um, on a day without a concert. He is going to particularly pick out product that will work well with jam bands. Um, so something that'll be kind of trippy, give a psychedelic feel. Um, Something that'll be able to put someone's guard down and allow them to expand their mind.
This sounds wonderful. Mm, where would they stage the concert? Um,
So, being a jam band, they would probably be at the outdoor um, amphitheater on the edge of town, where the people who have to hear the loud noise from the amphitheater, um, or who live outside of the parking lot, just outside of the parking lot range, um, aren't people paying high property taxes and people that the city government can um, ignore like they usually do and just take the money from the venue and ignore the pesky poor people who are living in the neighborhood and trying to get a decent night's sleep, and instead of hearing a 34.5 minute guitar solo um, followed by a 26-minute bass solo and then another 38-minute guitar solo. um, so the amphitheater's parking is not where most of the people, park people, go out into the side streets in the neighborhoods where people will, sell secure parking spaces for significantly less if someone's willing to walk a quarter mile, half mile to the venue, which leaves plenty of places for people selling bootleg merchandise and other things to pop up along the way, along the sidewalks, and sell items, which is what he's going to do.
Yeah. And at first it's going well. Um, you get quite a few people interested uh, in your wares, and seems like a good addition to the experience. One or two are already noticing you, knowing, well, back in March, there was a party that was definitely um, um, bettered by your help, and yeah, they know they can rely on you, and that's great. That's really, really great. You manage the flow of customers quite well. It's it's a good business day. Um, as the parking spots are getting fewer and fewer, um, the Knicks arrive on the scene. Um, this isn't the usual turf, but you already said Trey deserved what he got, and
Mm-hmm.
we are just business people doing business here, right?
Of course. And
Um,
so, if they are looking, um, I've probably been standing around and selling next to this guy with T-shirts with jam spelled with a G instead of a J. So, um, for quite some time, imagine we've struck up a kind of friendship, and he's gonna be um, helping this man sell some shirts.
that's that's a good plan. Um, you said you're friends, or kind of starting a friendship, right?
This is a person of convenience to Conrad.
Okay.
Um, so this is someone. This is a person being loud, saying "Get your shirts here," who's drawing people over to him anyways, so that he doesn't have to draw people in. Um, and then if anybody that he's selling to, like, this shirt will look good on you, and he'll try to help this man sell some shirts while he's selling his thing. Um, they're certainly not friends, but they do have a symbiotic sales. They're co-workers, if you will.
Yeah, yeah. One of the Knicks strolls over to the two of you. Not necessarily dressing according to the event, more like usual black hoodie, dirty jeans kind of look.
Hey man, you got to get one of these T-shirts.
Yeah, no, thank you. I don't think.
And he's gonna lean in and be like, I know who you are. I know what you do. T-shirt's gonna make it look if there's a narc in the crowd that you're less likely to be doing what you are probably doing here. This is helping you out here.
Mighty kind of you, sir, but I don't think that I have any problems with the narcs tonight.
Oh well, yeah. All right. You do you. I'm just trying to be friendly.
So I had a little talk last week with a guy by the name of Trey, and he told me that you are somebody um, to recognize, somebody who has good wares.
Well, see, now you've got me torn because Trey's a notorious liar. But then again, a broken clock is right twice a day.
So, um, here's the thing. Um, we are expanding, and we have an offer to make for upcoming business partners. Um, like not getting worried about certain nosy people.
That would be that would be delightful. That does sound like something that I would be interested in doing. Um, I mean, I assume you don't mean now because the smell of patchouli around here and is not conductive to my business brain.
Oh, don't worry. We'll give you some time to consider.
Yeah. Um,
Um, Part of this thing is negotiate setting some rates and prices, and of course fees.
yeah, yeah. We can discuss that. So what are you thinking? We tomorrow 3 o'clock. The chicken and waffle place.
That's a cute idea. Um, um, we like to get to know our friends a little bit more personal, so we're gonna meet at your place. Um, I think 11 o'clock sounds great.
All right. Sure. I mean tomorrow, right? Because I do not have time to get home and clean and to make the place presentable. You don't want to be stepping on my dirty underwear.
Yeah, tomorrow.
All right. AM or PM?
AM.
All right.
That was just me.
All right.
Wonderful.
Got to get the ground rules set. Get an idea of what we're to expect. Yeah. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, 11 a.m. I'll make the coffee.
Nice. I hate coffee. And then he turns around and walks away. Jeez. What a guy. Intense, huh?
Yeah, I know. I mean, he's gonna look over to the guy selling the bootleg shirts. I don't know if I can trust a guy who doesn't drink coffee, who doesn't like coffee. That's a big red flag. not like that big red flag with the guy with the um, Russia, the SSSR flag over there. Not like that guy. Different type of
No,
big red flag.
no. But you know what that guy is missing? T-shirts! Get a t-shirt! Yelling at them
Yep.
and try to sell very communist jam band shirts.
Yeah, of course. It's about for the people, not the corporations.
Yeah, it's
Um,
a place where you can breathe. Yes.
yep. Um, so yeah, he's gonna go back about see about unloading the rest of his goods before heading over to the university in the botanical gardens.
Mhm. Um, you notice there has no, there haven't been any undercover officers in the streets. You have been selling your stuff tonight.
Yeah, sometimes it's good luck.
Yeah,
Plus, the Knicks were not blending in very well, so the officers will probably keep an eye on them.
probably yes. But there's no reason to spend another thought on this. There is a very nice place to go to. You know, the botanical garden of the university has some very nice greenhouses, sorted into different climate zones. And from time to time, um, the student council manages to to get a key from one of the postgrad graduates to one of these houses, and there's a nice area that's made for presentations, and if you want to have a um, ah words a reception and stuff like this. And it's a very nice area, and it is directly next to one of these subtropical um, climate zone greenhouse space with gigantic banana trees and a big pond in the middle where all kind of strange and beautiful water lilies are growing. And of course, since this is a more um, representing part of the botanical garden, it is very flowerful in the best meaning of the words. And it's it's a huge group of young people around here. And there's one person in particular you kind of like. Who might this be?
It's Bridget.
Bridget.
So, um, Conrad went to school here for undergrad. Sort of. He does not have a degree. He uh, there were some things had there were some issues. Um, his grades weren't all that great to begin with, and you know he just didn't come back. Whether it was his choice or with the school, was it with the school's choice that he didn't return for his junior year? That is a matter of who you talk to. Um, but Bridget's um, older sister was his lab partner in a biology class. The um, rather remarkable uh, teal water lily that is growing in the pond is one that they actually developed and bred on as part of their class project, and is only found on the university. He doesn't know what happened to Bridget's sister Samantha after she graduated. Um, you know, they were friends. Um, there was there was something there, but the connection never happened. So there was feelings on both sides, but never. No one ever really acted on it, and they fell apart. Um, he ran into Bridget. It's been 6 years since he's seen Samantha, and she looks spitting image of her. And he was selling his wares to students, and that's how they met.
Yeah.
Um, he kind of looks at her like a little sister, um, maybe a little cousin. He's not quite as protective of her as someone might be of a little sister, but as a little cousin, who you might influence negatively and have fun with, but still be protective over. Yeah.
And as you arrive here and she notices you, she smiles at you. And it's a smile that has nothing to do with what you bring or what you could do or what you sell. It's just it's just a smile for you.
And he recognizes that smile because that's the same smile Samantha used to give him.
She waves at you.
He's gonna, head over and talk to her and kind of get more of an idea of what this party or event is, because it's odd that he wasn't aware of it.
Oh, it's just a hangout, it's a few good friends meeting. Um, I think we got some music students who are gonna play. Uh, but artists, they take like forever to show up, and then it will take at least half a box of beer until they're gonna start. And so we just threw on the Spotify playlist to get the mood a little bit going. And yeah, you, you didn't know that this would happen.
Not until like not until earlier today. Someone gave me a call and gave me a heads up about it. Said that this some folks here might use some being used as some party favors. So
That's strange. Uh, I definitely heard a few people as you know for the idea came up, they wanted to get you on board as soon as possible because apparently your services are great. So yeah, I don't know. Oh,
well, it's something for this university to be proud of. It's not their football team.
you're right. It's more like the wonderful people you meet here, and she looks distracted, looking towards the front door where somebody just happens to walk in.
who just happens to walk in as Conrad is also looking over at this direction.
It's Rod, uh, the very tea interested person.
Well, that's certainly a coincidence.
And as he seems to be getting a feeling of the place, maybe looking for someone leisurely, and then his eyes fix on Bridget, and she gives him a wave, and he returns the wave and heads over to the two of you.
Oh, I was not expecting to see you again so soon there, Rod. Have you had a chance to try the tea?
Oh yes, it was delightful.
Oh, glad you enjoyed it.
So I noticed I didn't catch your name earlier. Um, Quite disrespectful of our friend, and actually me not to ask you.
Conrad.
Conrad, very nice to make your acquaintance. Uh, I see the two of you know each other.
Yeah. Her sister was my lab partner back when I went here.
Oh, you studied. Interesting.
Well, can't have learned all of my tricks on my own. Had to learn them somewhere.
You're right. I'm I just gonna get around, get me a drink, something
Yeah,
along the
yeah.
lines. Talk to you later.
Enjoy yourself.
Thank you, you too. He's like a little bit strange, but also he has a certain charisma, doesn't he?
Yeah, everyone's weird until you get to know them.
Yeah, that's probably right. Um, you probably spend a little bit of time getting some of your wares sold. Do you
Mm-hmm.
drink?
No, no. Um, he's he has a bad reaction to substances, so he does not partake, which is something that he tries to keep quiet. Because why would you buy weed from somebody who doesn't smoke? Um, so he generally doesn't, kind of make that known. He'll come up with, he doesn't drink because it's all beer and he's got a gluten allergy. Is usually his go-to.
The the minutes, the hour run slowly by. Um, you're actually having one or two nice conversations. Bridget tells you a little bit about Samantha, what she's doing right now. She went to the really big city, and she apparently is becoming a food scientist and constructing um, nutrients for a rather big company. And yeah, time almost flies by. until something draws you out of this conversation again. Um, this is a rather warm place. The greenhouse, the glass walls already do their bit to keep the warmth in, and it's temperature regulated. And yet it feels cold. Um, Looking around, the other students, they are tugging more into their um, hoodies. Some of them are actually putting on their jackets. Um, it's it's strangely cold.
How are the plants reacting? Because a lot of the plants in this greenhouse as won't do well in the cold weather.
Yeah, they aren't looking too great. The um, the blossoms which were still open closed. Um, the leaves are starting to fold, to wrap. Um, the water lilies um, start to close.
Is there a this is something that is gradual and can thinking back, can you think of anything that might have happened while they were there that might have triggered this? Um, did somebody's arrival, for example, if he thinks back, has he matched that up?
It was definitely warm before Rod arrived. Yes. There was was there a slight shiver on your back as he approached?
Well, when I when we met him earlier today, our mutual friend was complaining about the cold.
That's true. And he was basically hiding in his jacket as we
Yeah.
returned.
So where's Rod now?
Rod is over at the bar, laughing at a joke of a young lady, having a wonderful time.
So right now it's just a suspicion that there's something with Ron that is causing this, but that doesn't really make sense because um, unless he had some esoteric knowledge of some why a being would make the place around gold. Could I do an esoterica in intellectual to see if there's anything that I could make that connection?
Yeah. And please roll the curse die in this dice pool.
Still one course die.
Um, I think we actually might say this is the entire team coming together to solve a problem for the first time in the scene. So
All right,
we we can ramp it up to two.
all right. Two successes, one on a curse die.
Brilliant. He loves, she laughs. Steam wallows up from his mouth, from hers as well. He draws in breath again, and you see the two clouds disappeared between his lips. There is a shiver. There's a shiver in the trees. There's a shiver on the water surface. There's a shiver on the petals of the water lily. You see out of the edge of your eye that the tip of the not yet entirely closed water lily that you and Samantha grew, it's it's getting a silvery sheen as if ice formed on it.
Yeah. So with the doesn't exactly know what to make of this, but he's convinced Ron has something to do with it. So he's gonna approach Ron and try to get him to take a walk outside with him.
You close in on him, and he turns around just in a perfect moment to welcome you into his small circle of people sharing his attendance. Oh,
Yeah,
Conrad,
Ron.
why don't you have a drink with us? And he presents you with a crystal glass filled with golden. Oh no, it's even better. Um, it's ouzo. It's ouzo, and it is ice cold ouzo, and so you have these crystal effect.
Well, I don't want to be ungracious, Ron, here, but it's me and alcohol don't get along well.
Don't tell us this bottle. I think it would be devastated if I had to kill it on my own. So
Well, I'm sure there's plenty of people here willing to help you with that. It's just I'm not one of those people. Anyways, um, so here's something I wanted to ask. Can I talk to you in private for a moment?
you know, we're just having such a good time. Um, I'd hate, I'd really hate to disappoint anybody by leaving this wonderful companionship that I found here. But I'm sure whatever it is that weighs so heavy on your heart, you can just share.
Some things I'd rather keep. You know, keep cards in my hand. You know, it'll be 5 minutes. Not. You know, let's take a walk. Let me show you around some other parts of the campus you haven't seen yet.
He empties his glass, enjoys the taste on his tongue. Everybody around can basically feel the cold drink running through the throat, splashing down to the chest, the stomach, and the newly drawn in breath that's shortly after then given back to the world like a crystal filled cloud. Then he makes one, two steps next to you, puts his index and middle finger on your shoulder, and as he walks around behind you, does this stepping motion with his fingers on your shoulders. Sure, 5 minutes.
We'll lead him outside, take a look around, and then just bluntly ask, "Why are you cold? Why do you make the people around you, the things around you, cold?"
I'm just having fun.
Now, I understand you are having fun. There's the how, that's a question. There's the what are you doing to make the plants die and wither up inside?
Hmm. You really know how to be a downer, don't you? See, I really hate it that I have to be the one telling you, but apparently, this is my damnation. I have to tell you. See, there are two kinds of people in the world. The one kind that lives life to the fullest. They take what belongs to them, they enjoy every second, they make life matter. And then there are those who somehow blundered at this chance, who decided to become mediocre, to, I don't know, settle with tiny ambitions, who are just running from one person to satisfy to another person to satisfy for a little bit of money, and then they worry about how to cover this up so they won't get any more attention because attention is dangerous or something. We are very different people, you and I.
That you may have drinking a little too much tea, so I'm going to forgive the poorly veiled insults for the moment, and once again come back to why do you make things or the people around you, the plants around you, the atmosphere around you cold?
Because I take from them. And he leans in. I see such a beautiful world, a never ending well to drink from, to relish in. And I see beyond that, I see different worlds out of reach for almost everyone. And I just need to, I need to go there.
Okay. So we're going to take a step back from the creepiness of your answer and go back to uh, I asked a how question and you gave a why answer. How the
I'm
fuck are you doing this?
sorry. I'm, I am silly. How should you understand if I don't show you? And he leans in, puts the fingers on your chin. And do you let him do this?
Um, yeah, I think he's creepy and weird, but not creepy and weird in a dangerous way. So I'm
Then,
gonna let him do it, and we'll um, punch him in the face if that comes if it seems necessary. If he tries getting a little smart.
then let's enter the danger zone by rolling composure and your entanglement.
Um, I'm assuming I'll have an entanglement of one then, as
You have 1 point of entanglement
yep.
by being you.
Um, no.
Um, well,
Zero
it's an
successes. If I'm using cursed die, there's zero successes on cursed die. There's a one on a non-cursed die. But if I remember correctly, that isn't important. But I just felt the need to point that out for some reason, I guess.
we can make it important. Um, very bad news for you.
If this was my Scion Demigod game, I would have had successes. Just saying. So close.
Okay. Yeah, the opposition has quite a few more successes.
All right.
I fear you take 2 injuries.
All right.
And he draws in breath. And somehow the air escapes your nostrils and your lips and your mouth. And the pipe that leads down to your lungs, and the lungs, and something you have never been aware of like this before is being touched and the warmth being drawn out from there.
Just gonna just shove him and like jump back. What the fuck was that?
That's the difference between you and me. That's the difference between someone who takes and someone who gives. But don't think that you're special. I'll take a lot tonight.
Well, since you said I'm a giver and I'm in a giving mood, Karin's punching him in the face.
Wonderful. Okay. Um, Let's have. How are you punching him in the face? I really want to know this.
This is a quick jab. He's not putting his hands up. He's not winding up. It's just kind of like rabbit punch straight up coming.
Yeah.
Um,
Close combat at a dexterity.
that is 3 successes. One of those successes, well, it was a 10, so 2 of those successes are on cursed dice.
You punch. He is fast. He is quick to evade, but not just quick enough. And as your fist connects with his chin, next to you, a giant oak gives a bark, a groaning sound from it. And you have the feeling that there's quite a bit more power behind your punch. There's also now a cracking sound as if something broke from the ground, maybe. Mm. Mm.
Conrad is looking
Oh,
around, just like, what the fuck? What? Huh?
oh, man. Now I'm looking roguishly handsome. That was not the vibe for tonight.
You just froze. Like my lungs. And you think that being punched in the face is not an appropriate response to that? Why is this oak moaning?
Um, the oak is what?
The oak moaned when I hit you.
He um he seems irritated, confused for the first time that you met him. Looking to the tree, looking to you, looking back to the tree, looking to you.
It happened just like this, and he's gonna punch him again.
Oh, that's perfect.
While he's looking at the tree.
Yeah, you should have an enhancement for that, and an
Oh,
enchantment.
well, that makes 6 successes, 3 uncursed dice. If you give me an enhancement, so
Yep. Your hit connects again. He is being lifted into the air. Um, and crashing against the glass wall of the greenhouse behind him. You shoot a glance to your left. The oak is entirely unrooted. And it makes a stomping move towards the greenhouse.
halt, stop. Tree. Tree, stop.
Tree not stop.
Can I sense that the tree is going towards Ron or to the greenhouse?
So Ron is just sliding down the wall of the greenhouse.
Uh huh.
And the tree is walking towards him, probably, and the
House
greenhouse.
happens to be there. Hmm. Um, well, gonna. He doesn't believe what he's doing, and like he doesn't. He believes that he's doing the right thing. He just doesn't. His mind is having a problem comprehending that he's actually trying to talk down a tree and attempting to somehow persuade the tree not to um, not to hurt the tree, the greenhouse. He doesn't say anything about Rod, or he doesn't say anything about stopping the tree. He just wants the greenhouse to be okay.
Okay. Um, okay. Um, I can see that we gonna handle this like this. Um, you're good at talking to plants, basically. So I could see an argument for science.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and now, um, is this more like ignoring the fact that you're talking to a tree and therefore composure? Or is it like really trying to get through to a tree with manipulation?
No, this is he can't. This is trying to convince himself that this is not like a cartoon, um, and that this is not some weird drug thing, that he somehow got secondhand high and is hallucinating all of this. Um, so he's trying to keep his mental capacities with him as he talks to a tree.
Yeah.
Um,
So I'm gonna put a complication on this.
okay.
Um, um, on a success, you prevent the tree from destroying the wall of the greenhouse.
Okay.
Um, and then there is a mild complication that no, it's not mild. It's the middle one.
Okay.
Um, uh, um, that well, people are going to see you talking to a tree that is about to crush in the greenhouse.
Okay. Um, so how many successes do I need to
Uh,
successfully talk down the tree?
one.
One success, but then it was a moderate complication. So I succeed at talking down the tree, but I do not buy off the complication.
Wonderful. Um, the tree. How are you talking to the tree? I think that's maybe interesting about the story.
So he's like, hey, hey, do not hurt the greenhouse. It like, um, just kind of getting in between it and the tree. So people like watching will see my back and just my hands just going up and just be like, no, 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 stop, 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 to the tree. Um, so yeah, that they will see me standing in front of the tree, be like, no, stop, don't hurt the greenhouse. Um,
Um,
and then maybe
what
he'll kind of drag Ron and just kind of pull him away from the greenhouse and push him towards the tree.
I think the oak is at least faster in this regards, and instead of making another two stomping steps, probably crushing the glass by this, it just leans down with a mighty branch hand and picking up Ron. And as the tree does this, all fun and play disappears from Ron's face. And he looks upset and angry. And then he says, "Fuck this shit. I I gotta rip you. I." And then he does shred the branch hand that is holding him. And you see splinters flying everywhere. And I think this is the moment where everybody in the greenhouse, staring at what's happening outside, starts to scream. And um, I think you stopped the oak from destroying the glass wall. This doesn't stop Ron as he presses presses his lips to a thin line and then punches through the wall. Glass shards splintering everywhere.
What the fuck, dude? Hitting Ron again. Fuck Ron.
You're trying to catch up with him. Um,
Well, I mean, so if he's coming towards the glass, he's coming back towards me from where the tree picked him up, right? And dropped him.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, so he's got to be coming back towards me. So I don't have to do much, and just kind of as he's coming in towards. Actually, I'll hit him as he's coming in. You know, like he's gonna attack because I figure he's got his arm up swinging. He's probably swinging at me and not the glass, and I'm not recognizing it until after he hits the glass. But I hit him anyways.
Yeah. Mild complication, you gain another injury because of flying splinters.
Okay.
His defense is one.
All right. Um, I hit him, but I don't buy off the complication.
So both of you get hurt.
We both get hurt.
Um, this might be satisfying to you. He seems at least as hurt as you are.
Well, is he not? I mean, the botanical garden has been something that he has enjoyed despite no longer being a student at the university. Um, for a solid 8 years now, and he's been giving money to it. And And this is now personal. This person is now fucked up. It's not about the money that he's going to have to pay to fix this. It's about um, the plants inside with the broken glass are going to need are not going to make it. Um, so yeah, this guy has just came and fucked up a place that has personal meaning to Conrad. He's not going to let this slide. He doesn't take any joy in the fact that Ron is also injured because Ron is still standing and able to to do things and move. So he's not happy with this. He's going to try to attack Ron again.
Ron is attempting to step through the glass and do something inside. Um, and he is going to um, rely basically on his defense to maybe take a hit but not feel the full strength of that. So you can attack him.
All right.
Poor Ron.
That is 5 successes. None of them are on. Oh no, sorry. One of them is on the curse die.
Um, okay. Um, you. Ah, goodness sake. So this is one injury. You can spend another success on a second injury if you want to. And then we still have quite a few hits um, to spend on other stuff. What would you like to happen
Um,
aside of hitting him?
I want to drop him, so we're going to. So we'll do 3 for a critical trick. Um, we will essentially knock down for 1 hit. And if I have 1 left, I will use distraction, which gives him +1 difficulty on all attacks until the end of the next turn of my next turn.
Perfect. Okay. Um, it is another horrible strike you put at him. He crashes through the ground. And you realize you can see how he is trying to get back on his feet. He is touch grasping for the ground, and he's touching glass shards. They're ripping open his hand, and he he tries to get his orientation back. And then his eyes look up and he seems to see something as he is halfway in the greenhouse. He can look up to the ceiling of the greenhouse and then he looks at you and trying to get a good direction at your face. It's not that easy for him, But as he thinks he got your eyes, he says, "You're such a fucking coward. Why are you hiding? Come on, show them. Show them who you really are. They can almost see," and he points up.
The fuck are you talking about? Get the fuck out of here.
He just points towards the ceiling.
Well, it's against my better judgment to actually do it. Because, it could be punching him in the face and it could be a distraction. Um, but he will look up.
You're still outside of the greenhouse. He
Yeah.
is halfway in, halfway out. To really get a look, you have to step across this threshold.
So what he's going to do is he's going to go in and go into the greenhouse to grab him and throw him outside of the greenhouse. And then, as part of, at some point in during that transaction, he's going to look up and be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" After getting him out of the greenhouse, because that's his ultimate. Yeah, the ultimate goal is to prevent him from doing more damage to the greenhouse. So,
Look up. Almost nobody noticed that you threw Ron out. Um, you catch a glimpse of somebody, a guy, with a torn jeans. Um, it's a blue jeans. It's bright, but there's now a cut in it, and there is a deep and dark taint growing on this leg of the jeans. He still doesn't recognize it. He's staring up, as almost everybody is. Your eyes follow. You look up, and there are cracks in the glass roof of the building. There's actually glass missing. There are holes in there. But you can't see the night sky above you. Instead, you see a verdant green thing that makes your brain react with jungle. It's not a jungle, but it's the closest thing your mind can compare it to. It is a place that's beyond anything you have ever seen before. It is a place that something within you yearns. You crossed the threshold. Now you've seen it. There's no way to unsee this. It's calling.
First thing he's going to do is yell, "Get out!" Um, Everybody get out. And he doesn't quite understand it while it's happening, what he's doing. Um, but um, he is subconsciously slipping off the mask. At which point, he is um, his skin becomes light, translucent, almost glowing in radiance. Wings come out of his back, just ripping through his clothing. He's gonna have to figure out. He'll have to deal with that later time. Um, and jumps and flies into this opening to stop, to cut this, to he doesn't know what he's doing, but he thinks this is what needs to be done.
Are you trying to close the holes?
He's flying into it, trying to close the holes. Yeah.
You need something. You need some material to make a patch, something of significance.
Hmm. So I bled a curse die to do the slipping off the mask then thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. He's going to attempt to just kind of pull. Um, there's broken glass with him, and he's going to try to pull that up with him to use it to block the hole that somehow was created.
Yeah. There's also dying plants around you. There are water lily petals, rather large ones.
That seems, yeah. The properties of them might cause them to stick to act as a sealant of some sort, so he's going to try to use them.
It, it doesn't make any sense. Nothing makes any sense. And yet they stick.
He'll have to deal with that later. Right now, he is trying to hold on to some semblance of protection of this place and the people within it. Again, if there's anybody still inside, he is going to bark out to give the command to run out. Um,
The thing is, first they were staring, most of them, at the ceiling or the roof. Then you turned. You shed off the mask. And as you did, they became enraptured with you. It's hard to listen to such a command.
but I do get an automatic hit on influence rolls. This would be an influence action.
Well, that's right. You yell at them. Most of them follow. One of them doesn't. The person who didn't stare up. The person who saw you turn into that what you are right now. Bridget is watching you somewhere between amazement and the deepest horror she ever felt.
Well, there's is the greenhouse somewhat secured now, or is it still?
Yes,
It's not
you.
collapsing on people.
It
Um,
isn't. No.
no, he's just gonna take. He's just gonna nope the fuck out of here. This is the immediate threat. The problem has been dealt with. He is not of the capacity right now to deal with any of this other shit. Uh, uh, there's no one in danger. There's nothing else that can be done to help. Stopping Ron is pointless at this point because shit's fucked. The oak tree is possibly running rampant. He doesn't know. Um, at this point, he's like, none of this is my problem anymore. I'm out. He's just taken off. He can't now deal with this. Um, there's no. Maybe this can be written off as a bad dream. Maybe there's something in the weed. Maybe somebody was doing a little too much micro dosing and turned it into macro dosing of mushrooms, and it's just some this is all going to get written off as a bad trip, but he just can't deal with this right now. His mind is not capacity. Yeah, he's getting the fuck out.
We see a few minutes later, Ron also didn't enjoy the party anymore. He left the scene. A man in a thick coat enters the greenhouse looking at the damage, looking at the people shivering in the cold, disturbed, shocked. He's on the phone. He says, I think I found the place he was in last. Could use some help, but we might have to catch him somewhere else. Yeah, sure. I'll take care of that. Understood. And then he ends the phone call, and the man with moss green eyes takes stock of the situation. I think with Conrad now thrown into the world of the accursed, off to new adventures, this is a good point to end tonight's session. So, thank you very much for this adventure. This was very great. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that was quite a time. Did very well with me seeing the obvious plot characters and turning around and going the other way.
Well, I mean, that's how things happen usually in games, I think. They are not scripted beforehand.
It works for Curseborne because you run away from the curse and they keep showing up.
Yeah, there's no way denying it, especially if you're one of the outcast.
Yep. All right.
Yeah. So I think most people who have read a little bit, maybe in the manuscript, might be aware of what family you have been playing, but maybe we want to tell this to the people who are just here without any previous knowledge.
Conrad is a keeper of the broken vine, who are outcast from been cast out from another plane of existence. Some may or may not call it heaven, but are seeking to recreate paradise on Earth.
Yeah. And apparently, the paradise that Conrad is creating or has been creating up to this point wasn't meant for him. So, yeah.
Listen,
Okay.
listen. All right.
Yeah, I think this is a wrap. I'll be back with another player, another lineage, and another family next week. Same slot, same spooky time, and I hope to see you all back then. And once again, thank that Zach. This was
You're
a
welcome.
delight.
And to all the viewers, if you miss my bright shiny face, you can come back here Monday 9 p.m. Eastern for Scion, the Tower, and watch me. My character just died, so it'll be fun. We'll see what happens. All right.
Okay, that's an awesome sentence in an ongoing campaign.
All right.
Yeah. Have a good night and see you
Bye.
around.
Have a wonderful time.